This just in, we have some breaking news, and I am dude, I'm so excited about this. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. So, we have a Zenkai announcement for Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan KAIOKEN Goku. So, I'm quoting them here, but Super Saiyan Blue KAIOKEN Goku. This will be awesome. It's interesting they did a full-on trailer for this as well. I don't know if it's because it's Legends Festival or what, but they did a full-on trailer for this. So that's interesting, man. All right, so first thing I'll say is, since they're announcing it now, he will be coming out next week on Tuesday, per usual, next week was always going to be a Zenkai anyway, unless it was going to be a dead week. That's just their typical format. But this guy in particular is a really interesting one. Also, on the heels of them running the KAIOKEN Ultra banner for the freaking bajillionth time, where is it? They literally announced it like last night that the banner's coming out, because here it is. They run this banner. And I'm not even joking. They run this banner once every 3 weeks. So it's really interesting that they're doing that. And this leads to immediate speculation. We're going to talk about what this means character-wise, but immediate speculation that the Ultra that we are seeing, presumably for New Year, could be hit. Wow, that's interesting. So don't take it at face value. The thing about Hit as an Ultra is that while I would love it so much just as a character, Hit is one of my favorite characters in all of Dragon Ball. I would love to see Hit with that paintbrush animation that they do for Ultras. I would love it. I would love to see Hit with some nicer well, to be fair, I would like to see an LF more just because they have nicer animations in general. But I digress. I'd like to see a premium Hit in the game at some point, and I hope we get it. The downside is he's not a good character choice because lack of tags, lack of teams. But devil's advocate to that, I guess, is that you could put him in the leader slot. But that being said, Ultra characters suck in leader slots if the team isn't built around them because they don't really suck, but they're missing out on a lot of buffs they would get with the Ultra ability. So it's a lot of things, and Hit really wouldn't be a good choice. If we're being completely honest, bias aside. So let's talk about him, the Goku. But dude, I'm so excited about this. Hit the thumbs up if you guys are excited too. Speaking of Hit, right? He came out with Yellow Hit, and back then, this is so old. Back then, banners didn't have anything red stars. It was 6 and 7, and that was it. I was trying to get freaking what was it? I was trying to get Hit just to hit to 6 stars. And no. I think they did have. I don't remember. I have to go back and double check. I'm pretty sure they actually did have red stars. I don't remember. But the point is, I endlessly pulled that Goku. He was the only one I would pull. Like I basically either 7-starred or 14-starred him completely before pulling it, and it was such a weird thing for me because back then the game was different. We didn't have like this high priority on stars. Power creep wasn't what it is. My man Goresh wasn't 14-starring every new unit yet. The game was in a really different state. I might be misremembering the star thing. I don't remember which one of the two it was, but either way, I was at a high number, close to maxing out. So, what else could it be if it's not Hit? That's more or less the most interesting thing about this, is it could be any God Key character. You know what it is, too? This guy getting a Zenkai here, I'm going to say it, being a yellow God Key character, especially if he Zenkai buffs God Key. If he doesn't buff God Key, then this probably isn't the case. But we might see a yellow Ultra Gogeta Blue or something like that. Or Vegito Blue, I guess. But typically the Ultra release doesn't really tie into the celebration. So Vegito would make sense with the celebration, but typically they don't do that. See the other releases for Ultras. It doesn't always work that way. Anyways, either way, a God Key yellow character might be on the horizon. And again, it could be a number of characters. That's the point. It could be a Gogeta. It could be Vegito. Who knows, right? I'd actually advocate more for Gogeta. However, I don't want to see another Gogeta Blue that's yellow because that's our second Gogeta Blue, and they're both yellow, right? Anyways, so that's more or less what I'm thinking about in terms of this. What else could this lead to? The thing is, since we're also getting the return of that other Kaioken banner, I don't want to see that just get swept under the rug and not get mentioned. It could just be something tied to DBS. It doesn't have to be something tied to the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 arc. It doesn't have to be something tied to the Tournament of Power. It could just be something tied to DBS in general. It could be something, for all we know, like a yellow Ultra Beerus, who, by the way, even though he has God Key, is still not a character that's extremely versatile. But again, God Key, I guess. My real question is, when is God Key going to actually be a real legit team? I did a video on this team, well, God Key, like really recently. And what I came down to is that it's just future, right? But that's always kind of been the case with God Key. It's like, yeah, but like this team would probably just be better if it's future, or it'd be better if it's Saiyans, or it's not always been the case, but it's been the case for a really long time. So this Goku in particular, he is, this art's so nice. I like that art so much. He is a relic in more ways than one, but he does have some things that could be interesting. So the way he functions is he has a timed transformation for 30 counts. The first thing I want to see, there's two things I want to see. The first thing I want to see is this condition go up. It can't be 30 counts anymore. That's just not long enough, right? At least make it 45, but I like to see it at least at 60. If they don't want to just outright completely remove the condition, which I don't think they'll do, make it 45 to 60 and we're cool. Also, on transformation, make him restore health. That is a mandatory thing, I think. And also, speaking of mandatory, giving him the natural, and they will definitely do this, natural tankiness pre-transformation with damage cuts, stuff like that, so he doesn't get obliterated and decimated before he can transform. That's never been good in this game, and it certainly doesn't age well when characters get blown up before their transformation. Look, you have to look no further than Shallot, even when he was relevant. His base form was terrible, absolutely terrible. Again, even in his heyday, it was terrible. All his forms. All right, the following effects occur when he enters the battlefield. He gets damage and a cost down and a draw speed level. So this is all really solid. I'd actually like to see these numbers increased. However, I don't think they'll really do that. I think they'll keep it where it is, so he stays more as a burst combo pivot option type deal. If they really want to be cheeky, they'll give him some sort of card draw on entry, like a strike like Purple S3 Goku got on Zenkai. I don't think that'll happen either, though. But above all else, what I would like to see is key recovery added here. This is back in, and they were trying to be really anime accurate. This is why when Goku de-transforms, which is one thing I want to see taken off, this is why he has such drawbacks, because in this part of the story they really hyped up Kaioken. This was its release anyway in the series. It's the first time we see this Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken form. They really hyped it up to be a real big issue for Goku to maintain. This is no longer the okay, I can get into a lot of things about Super, but the same applied to just Super Saiyan Blue in general. They completely removed these elements from the story for the most part later on. That's not the point of today's video, but Goku had the delayed key onset right after that arc in a filler episode or so, if you want to use that word filler. But that's more or less what happens here. So I'd like to see him get key recovery, though I understand why they wouldn't really do it too much because of the anime accuracy, but just please do away with that. So when he transforms, he draws the green. His green is vital to his kit because it changes the green to it changes the blue card animation, and the blue card thus changes. You see it, he's one of the rare characters, probably less than 5 characters in the entire game that have something like this, where they have 2 different animations, 2 different types of blue cards, and actually, is there even more than like 3? I can only think of the Kaioken Gokus right now. So what happens is whenever he's used that green, he'll destroy all of your enemy's cards on hits. That's really good. He does a debuff, also extra special move damage, and massive impact modifier. This guy having massive impact was really powerful. That blue would kill you earlier on. The green restoring key, and then also gives a strike increase damage. So he gets permanent buffs here that were tied to the green card, but he gets the green on command, so it's not the worst thing. But whenever he de-transforms, because, okay, let me say this. They're not going to give him cover null, I'd imagine. If they do that, that'd be amazing, because that's just what he needs above all else as a melee character. But I don't think they'll do it because they very seldomly give those types of things to Zenkais anymore. But if they gave him that would be perfect. But aside from that, the main thing I want to see fixed, because I know they'll give him the basics, right? The main thing I want to see is when the transformation ends stuff. Plus 15 to own Strike and Blast card cost can't be canceled. The can't be canceled is a complete spit in your face, by the way. You can't even cleanse this off. You're going to be forced to deal with that card cost condition for 20 counts, and that is crippling. Having it for 20 counts is crippling. Not 3 counts, not 5 counts like some characters do. Crippling for 20 counts. You can't do anything. You really can't, right? You really can't do anything. And I understand, like I explained a second ago, why it was there, and even though I didn't like it, but I just don't think there's a place for this in today's climate with the game the way it is. I think this just has to go. If they want to, the funny thing, and this may be anime accurate too, I have to go back and watch the movie, but the purple Super Saiyan Trunks has a similar effect where when he detransforms, he has things that proc, except he gets stronger. He gets damage increase buffs to offset the loss in stats, I guess. This guy actually just flat out gets weaker, but again, it's what they're trying to do to represent the show, and I understand. I just don't want it to be in the game. Also, if I remember correctly, this Goku had Vanish Restoration, right? He did, yeah, complete Vanish Gauge Restoration on main. See, this guy, like, he's got, I mean, he needs Cover Null, and the basics like a damage increase and stuff, obviously, but he's got the baseline, but at the same time, there used to be a time where I'd say if the character has a good baseline, I know they'll do right by them, but that's not really been the case for characters that have a good baseline. They'll just barely touch them up, right? So I really hope that they give him some stuff that he really can work with. I'm just not really optimistic. So there's that. He has the Vanish Restoration, and that works out really well for him. The last thing I'll say is God Key. What are they doing with this team, man? What are they doing? It's like Melee, but also not Melee at the same time. I hate when teams are like this. They're in this in-between spot. But for the most part, I think that they can skew more towards Melee and be successful. The downside is you do have to omit. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to omit some of the characters here, but you can make do. Let's look at what a Melee team would be. I mean, the Ultra characters are just off the table because Ultra abilities, stuff like that. But you have UI Goku here. You have Vegito Blue Zenkai. I'd view Zamasu over him, even though he's blast based. You have the other Zamasu. You have Rose. Yeah, you can make it work. But again, it's future. It's basically future. So it is what it is, man. They'll have to figure something out. I'm excited about this, and the potential hint that this is to a hit or something else coming up soon. Let me know what all you guys think. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.